Hey everybody, Jeremy here. So recently I tried out the Domino's Philly cheesesteak loaded tater tots, and while I thought that they were pretty good, I thought maybe I can do a better job of those at home. I said I would make a video about it, and this is that video. So right now I'm just doing a little bit of prep work. I've already got some onion and bell pepper chopped up, and then here is my shaved beef, and I'm going to just give this also a rough chop since we're going to be cooking it inside of the Ninja Foodi flip toaster, and there's not a whole lot of room here on this pan. I just want to get this meat to be nice and sort of bite-sized friendly. All right, so I'm gonna finish chopping this up, then I'm gonna take it over to the stove top where we can whip everything together there. So first up are the tater tots. Got them all spread out here on this tray. So I'm just gonna put it inside the machine, and I have it on the bake function, and we're gonna do it for 400 degrees. And I'm gonna do this for, I'm just gonna say 24 minutes. All right, so we're going to start. And while that's working, let's head on over to the stove and cook the rest of these ingredients. All right, so I got my Ninja Foodi Never Stick pan right there, heating up, kind of like a medium heat. And I got myself some extra virgin olive oil. I'm just gonna put a little bit inside of the pan like that. Swirl it around. Awesome. And now, I got my green peppers and my onion that I'm going to throw in here. Awesome. So the idea here is just to get these nice and warm and cooked. And then when these are done, I'm gonna take these out of the pan and put them back into their little bowl, and then we'll cook the meat separate. So I'm gonna cook the veggies first and then the meat second. Don't really know exactly how long this is gonna take, but you know, it's one of those things where you kinda know when it's done, when the onions and the peppers are not as hard anymore. The onions have a nice color on them, as well as the pepper. But even if you think that maybe you didn't cook them for long enough in here, don't worry, because later on they're going to be cooked a little bit more, a couple of times actually. So yeah, I'm going to just keep on working on this. We'll come back in the next step. So it's been a few minutes, and I think these are just about done to the point where I like them. These onions are starting to get a little bit translucent, starting to see a little bit of color on them. So I think I'm going to call it here, and I'm going to take all of this and I'm going to just put it right back into the original bowl where they came from. Now it's time to add the meat. Just so you know, it's about 15 minutes remaining on those tater tots. So first I just want to sort of break this up a little bit and keep it really simple with the seasoning. So I'm just going to put a bit of salt on there and some black pepper. All right, it's smelling good already, let me tell you. So as this cooks, these sort of chunks of Philly steak are going to get looser, and they're just going to, you know, sort of come apart, so it won't be like a big glob of meat. And it doesn't take long to cook this at all. The shaved steak is just going to take minutes. So this is not something that you can just put in the pot and then walk away and be like, oh, I'm gonna come check on it in about, 5-6 minutes. Don't do that. Stay next to it. Keep giving it a good stir. See, all these little pieces are starting to get broken up here. And this is kind of like the size that I want it to be. because when I go and I put it inside of the flip toaster, I'm going to want like little bite size chunks like that, you know, as opposed to having the really long bits of steak that you would normally put like on a hoagie roll or something. All right, so now that we got pretty much all of the red out, I'm going to take the onions and the peppers and throw them right back in here. And that's why I said earlier that they were going to get kind of like a twice over cook from the original cook. So now all the flavor from the onion and the bell pepper all getting incorporated into that steak. So this is pretty much done. So at this point, I'm just going to taste a little bit of this beef to see how I like it. It's pretty good. I'm just going to add a tiny bit more salt, just a little bit more salt, not much. You can always add salt, but you can never, ever, ever take it away. Turn off the gas. This is done. So now we just have to wait on the tater tots. 11 minutes to go. The tater tots are done. So at this point, I'm gonna just grab my pan with my steak and peppers and onion, and I'm just gonna dump that right on top of here. Now I'm not gonna be using all of this, so you know, this may be good for maybe a couple of portions. But what I wanted to do is spilled a little bit. What I wanted to do was just basically make up for what Domino's didn't do. I felt like they didn't have enough steak on there. There wasn't enough onion. There wasn't enough peppers. So in my version, I wanted to make sure that there is an abundance. We are not being stingy with these toppings. No, no, no. Okay, so the final step, I got some provolone cheese that I just kind of pulled apart. And I probably didn't even have to do that. I probably could have just used the entire circle pieces of provolone cheese to put it on here, but whatever. So I'm just gonna take this provolone cheese and just put it right on top. So now, the final step. Take this, put it back into the oven. Let me move this cheese back a little bit. I don't want it to fall out. All right. Let's tuck this in, put it back into the oven. I have it set on broil, and the time is going to be 5 minutes. We'll come back in a few, see how we did. Would you look at that? Got that cheese all nice and melted. Yum, yum, yum. But we've got to do a taste test. I've got my fork here. And just look, there's no missing these ingredients. Whew, that is hot. Let's take a big chunk of that. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is a lot better than the Domino's Philly cheesesteak loaded tater tots, for the simple fact that you get so much more. I mean, that was the biggest problem with it, in my opinion. They skimped on so much of the ingredients, but this is loaded with steak. There's steak all in here. Peppers and onions, nice cheese on top, and of course the tater tots just being the nice little bed underneath. This is really, really good. And if you want to try this for yourself, you saw how easy it was for me to make, and you can just go home, and even if you don't have, you know, a Ninja Foodi flip toaster, you can do this in your oven. You can do this in your toaster oven. As long as you have heat, you can make this. A stovetop and an oven of some sort, you can get this done. And the taste is much closer to a Philly cheesesteak than what Domino's had, let me tell you. Because you're tasting so much more. You're tasting more of the meat. You're tasting more of the onions and the peppers, and not just primarily tater tots. So I'm really glad that I did this, and I'm really glad that you stuck around to watch this video to the end. I really do appreciate it. And if you want to see more content like this, do me a favor and subscribe to this channel. And if you like the video, please do me another favor and leave me a like. And I'll be back with some more videos very soon. So until then, take care of yourselves. I'm Jeremy, and I'll see you next time.